welcome back to our kitchen. Today Joshua and I are making a cake pan. A lot of our recipes come from King Arthur Baking or King Arthur Flour, but we're going to use a lot of Pampered Chef products, and this one is original cake pancake. It's a chocolate cake, and everything is going to be made, mixed, and then baked in this cake pan, which is part of the cake pan set, which comes with two 9-inch rounds. And so this is our cake pan. We're also using the measuring cups, the measuring spoons. We have our small scraper, small spreader. Later we're going to be using, when we do the frosting, some other stuff, so I'll tell you about that in that one. But later, when this comes out of the oven, we're going to be putting it on one of our cooling racks, which is the stacking cooling rack. So our oven is preheated, our oven is preheated to 350. I have a stick of butter here for the frosting. Quick tip about this, it needs to be very soft. If your kitchen isn't warm, today's a warm day, so I won't need it, but if it's winter or your kitchen's not warm enough and you need to soften your butter but you don't want to melt it, if your oven is on for something and the top is a little warm, you can just stick the little stick of butter on top of where the top of the stove is, and the heat from the oven will soften it.
That's butter.
Yes. All right, so we will leave that off to the side. That's for the frosting for later. So in the cake pan, which like I said, everything is going to go in there.
First you put all the dry ingredients.
Yeah, so you put all the dry ingredients in first.
Which are flour.
Yep, we have all-purpose flour.
Sugar.
Sugar, we use Domino's golden sugar instead of plain white. It's white sugar, but it's less processed, so it has a little bit of a golden color.
Unsweetened.
We prefer Hershey Special Dark.
Salt.
Just regular old Morton's table salt. Baking soda.
Espresso powder optional.
We always, anytime we bake with chocolate, we use espresso powder.
We highly recommend.
Yes, it doesn't overwhelm it with a coffee flavor, but it does something magical to chocolate. So always espresso powder.
And then baking soda.
Baking soda, and then later we're going to use vanilla and vinegar and a cup of cold water.
And vegetable oil.
And some vegetable oil. So first thing that's going to go into the pan is the dry ingredients.
So that's the flour,
so
sugar.
a half a cup of flour, 1.5 cups of flour.
Okay, so let's take the 1 cup here. Here's a nifty little thing.
So the while he's measuring that out, the measuring cup set also comes with a leveler, which we've had our set for a while and I have not been able to find. But if you have a butter knife, or you can use the small or large scraper, or our container actually has a little thing built in to level. But you want to make sure you level your cups of flour. So, yep, so that's a cup. You put that in, and it's a cup and a half. So that's the 1 cup, and here's the half cup. So what you get in this is that's 3/4. All right, I grabbed the wrong one, so you'll just put another 4th. No big deal, it happens. Right, but that was 3/4, not a cup.
Whoops.
So we'll just do a 1/4 also. I didn't grab it out of our storage area, our drawer. So there you go. You get a 1 cup, a 3/4 cup, a 2/3 of a cup, a half a cup, a 1/3 cup, and a 1/4 cup, and then the leveler. That's the set. So that's our flour. That's 1.5 cups of flour.
Do you know how much all that costs?
No, not off the top of my head. And we're not going to talk about prices in our videos because we can reuse, these are going on our YouTube channel and prices change.
Yes.
So that's that, and then a cup of sugar. So Joshua will measure off the sugar. I'm going to put the flour away. Let me get a 1 cup. Let me see if I can get the 1 cup measure for you, Josh. Here it is.
Found it?
Yep, it was in the drawer. I just thought I grabbed it and didn't. So a cup of sugar. You want it to be nice and level, so we are going to use the leveler here to level our sugar. Usually we'll do this on a piece of paper towel or a piece of parchment so that we can put it back in if we do too much. Today it's on a napkin, but it should still work. So that's a cup of sugar. And then when I bring that over, we'll put the extra right back in from our clean napkin that Joshua had grabbed. Just
And then a 1/4 cup of cocoa powder.
So let's get pull it up by the little, and then that goes back in. You get a paper towel, I'll put the sugar away.
Yep.
Paper towels are over there. You can just bring the roll over. And then we're gonna measure our cocoa powder goes everywhere, and we have a dog, so we try to be pretty careful when we measure chocolate. So
Is this one open?
they're both open. So we need 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder. So that is that. Just wipe the flour off that. Napkin. Okay. So you can use the. Oh, does it fit in? Okay. And then just put it on there, and we'll level it up. The level. Okay. And we'll get that out of the way. We're gonna hold on to the cocoa powder. I'm not gonna put it away because we're gonna use it later for the frosting. You can put it right there. So then where's the recipe? So the cocoa powder. So we need 1/2 teaspoon of salt.
1/2 teaspoon.
And so 1/2 teaspoon of salt and 1/2 teaspoon of espresso powder and 1 teaspoon of baking soda. So Joshua, you have that. I'll get, do you want me to get the baking soda? While you're doing that? Okay. Baking soda. And that's the salt. And then we also needed the espresso powder. So just let's move that off so we don't get salt in the espresso powder. Again, the espresso powder really does not overly coffee up the flavor. It's just really nice in chocolate stuff. Let's level that off. Okay, so that's all of the dry ingredients. So then you're just gonna, with a small whisk or a fork or some kind of,
Is this paper chocolate?
no, it's just a regular little dollar store whisk. Just kind of whisk together to combine all the dry ingredients. All right in the pan that you're going to bake this in, so no extra bowls to clean. You're going to be very surprised at how delicious this comes out because it's just very good. Try to keep everything in there because that's all our delicious chocolate flavor. How's that going? Is that looking good? Or we can kind of pull some of that into the center. And it's a non-stick pan, so it's okay that it's all gonna kind of be mixed in here. What is the next step after this is well combined?
Measure all the dry ingredients.
Yep, we did that.
Blend with a whisk for or a fork. Make 3 indents. Slash, what are we doing now?
Wells, yeah.
Make
yeah.
3 indents in this.
So now that it's pretty much all kind of mixed together, it doesn't have to be perfect because we're gonna mix it further with the wet ingredients. So now we're gonna make 3, so this is what they mean by 3 wells, like an indent over here,
Yeah.
one over here. You can use that or you can use this, kind of, because you're gonna pour liquid into it. So you kind of want a well, and then one over here.
Oh.
But careful, it's all right. All right, so we have 3 kind of wells. 1, 2, and 3. So in 1, we're going to put
The vanilla.
and how much vanilla do we need?
It would be 1 teaspoon.
Okay, so we need a
Can
teaspoon.
you show them what the wells look like?
I'm gonna try to show you the wells
Here, I
without.
can bring the camera over.
Oh, okay, yeah, why don't we do that? All right, so we have a 1, 2, 3. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just kind of an indent in there. Okay. All right, get that back set up. I'm gonna get the teaspoon wipe off so that we can measure out our vanilla. So in one of the wells, we're gonna put the vanilla. So did you say a teaspoon of vanilla, Josh?
I believe so, yes. Yep, teaspoon.
Right. This is our favorite vanilla, thanks to our friend Anne. We know.
Do we have the baking soda?
Not yet. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Okay, there's the vanilla. Sorry, we had something on the stove. Give me 1 second, Josh. Why don't you? What's the next one?
Vanilla, vinegar.
How much vinegar?
1 tablespoon.
Okay, so we have a tablespoon, and here's the vinegar. You want to do this?
Yep.
All right. You want me to pour and you hold?
Sure.
Tablespoon, you said?
Tablespoon.
All right. So a tablespoon, just plain white vinegar, but you can also use cider vinegar. We just use white for this. So there's a tablespoon. Pour it into one of the other wells, and then I believe the oil goes in the third well.
Yes.
How much oil?
1/3 of a cup.
All right, so we have a 1 cup liquid measure right here. And there's the oil. So 1/3 of a cup is right over here. As Joshua learned in science class, it's better to be at eye level. There you go. There. Drop more. Okay, so pour that into there. And then the next, after that, the water, we have a cup of cold water, is just gonna go over the top.
Yep.
And then we're just gonna gently mix everything together. And then we're gonna pop it in the oven, and we're going to bake this for about 30 minutes until a cake tester, which is a Pampered Chef product that we have too. It's a cake tester and releaser. Comes out clean, inserted in the middle, or a toothpick. So here's the cold water. Gently pour that over the everything.
Oh boy.
Just slowly and gently all around, and that kind of gets everything going. And then we're gonna take back our small scraper, and we're gonna just kind of mix that together. You want to do this? Just don't splash. You want to do it?
Sure.
Just be really gentle because you want all your liquid. Just mix it together till it looks like cake batter. And again, our oven is preheated to 350, and we're going to bake this for about 30 minutes. Joshua's going to take care of that. I will be right back. So you just mix that well. Again, you want to kind of be careful not to splash, because your baking is more exact than regular cooking, and you need every ounce of that liquid and all of the good stuff in there. How's that coming, Joshua?
Pretty good.
Do you need any help yet?
Perhaps just to finish it off.
All right.
It's getting pretty well mixed there.
Let's see. Oh yeah, that looks pretty good.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry about stepping off. We're doing a lot of different things at once today. So we're just gonna make sure that all of this, and it's starting to look like cake batter. So I don't know if you can see it from
Here,
there.
do you want me to bring it over?
If you want to, yeah. So what you can see that's gonna start to happen is, see how it's liquidy over here? Whoops. It's kind of liquidy over here, and then it's starting to look more like cake batter. So we're just gonna make sure that we get that really well mixed.
I do not endorse this brand of tripod. This is...
We're waiting for our better one. What is really great about this recipe, besides the fact that it's a delicious chocolate cake, is because it's all in one pan and there's less cleanup. It's also a pretty good recipe to do with kids. There's not, if you're baking with little kids, they can stir, they can mix, they can help measure. There's no eggs to deal with cracking. You can have everything pre-measured out and have them dump in. Again, this is, if you don't want to do this because you're worried that if your kids are really young or not gentle stirs, you definitely can do this in a bowl and then pour it in the pan. It works. This
is just a cake overall.
Yes,
so.
it's a really simple, delicious chocolate cake. If you choose to do it in a bowl, then you do the same process that we did. You whisk all the dry ingredients together, and then in a separate bowl you whisk all of the wet ingredients together, and then you pour it into the dry mix, and then you pour it into your 9-inch cake pan.
Perhaps one day we can do a video where we show that process.
Yes, but we
as it comes
chose
to this.
yes, and we chose this one because it's one pan and it's perfect. It's all mixed now.
Awesome.
Did you? You want to? So this is what it looks like when it's all mixed. Right? That's what it looks like. It's just perfectly delicious cake batter. There's no raw egg in it too. So if you're baking with kids and they lick their fingers, there's no raw egg. So now I'm just going to pop this in the oven and bake it for 30 minutes. And In 30 minutes, we will be back with you to show you the finished cake and how to make a chocolate frosting. So it's been 30 minutes. Our timer's going off. Pampered Chef oven mitt, cake tester. So we're gonna pull this out and it is beautiful looking. We're just gonna stick this in the middle. Comes out nice and clean. So our cake is done. So I'm gonna take this out of the oven, bring it over here and put it on our, this is from the stacking cooling rack set, and we're just gonna leave it there to cool, and we'll see you in a couple minutes to make frosting.